Hello there, I'm Roger and I'm a chef with UKHarvest Food Rescue Charity, and today we're going to be making a summer pudding. Okay, so what ingredients do we need for our summer pudding? Well, we're going to need about 500 grams of frozen mixed berries. These are available from most supermarkets. We're going to need about 7 slices of thick sliced bread, which I'll be removing the crust from. Actually, there's a nice little recipe in one of our earlier things about lovely little cinnamon chips to use the crust on. We're going to need about 60 ml of water, about 50 grams of caster sugar, and about 3 sheets of leaf gelatin. Right, to get things rolling, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my water in my saucepan. Then I'm going to put my frozen berries straight in. Notice I didn't need to defrost them at all, they can go straight in because they're just going to really well and truly warm through. And my 50 grams of caster sugar. And I'm just going to allow that to sort of simmer for a while, just to completely soften down all that fruit, thaw it right the way out, and meld all that sugar right the way in. And then after that's done, I'll be stirring in my leaf gelatin. Right, so our gelatin comes in leaf form. As you can see, it's quite rigid, but we basically just slide it into cold water. And we just slowly put them in one by one, not all together because they will stick all together if you put them all together. So we just slide them in one at a time, and this is the agent which will then firm up all of our fruit mix, all our berry mix, to set off our pudding beautifully. Okay, so my fruit mixture is really nice and hot. The fruit's completely defrosted. The sugar's beautifully kind of melded in, so I now need to get my leaf gelatin in, because as you can see now, it's lovely and soft and pliable, and it's really important it gets to this kind of stage. And you're going to squeeze all that excess water out, and we're just going to put it into our fruit mix, and now we're just going to give it a gentle kind of stir in. You want that really well kind of stirred through that mixture. And as I said, this is the agent that sets everything off. Really important not to bring this to the boil now, because it will upset the gelatin. Okay, so while our fruit's cooling down now on the stove, or off the heat, I'm now going to trim off the crust from the bread. So quickly just whip off those ends. And I'm going to do that to all 7 slices. Right, so my fruit's cooled down sufficiently. I'm now going to just pass it all through my dinky little conical strainer. If you haven't got one of these, use a sieve or a colander maybe, but this is a really good little tool. I just need to just get that liquid to come through. You need to separate this out from the liquid from the fruit, because you need to use the liquid to dip all your bread in. So just carefully, just nudge it through, try not to break all your fruit up, and that's that. Right, for the next part you're going to need a glass bowl, and this particular one takes about 1.5 pints of liquid. So I just put that flat on my table. I've got my liquid set aside, as I said, from the berries, and I now just take my slices and just start dunking them in and laying them in the bowl. One at a time, very quickly, overlapping them each time. Look at that, that's lovely, and I go all the way around. Okay, so that's all the sides done. As you can see, I've neatly overlapped. I'm now going to take one of my slices, cut it in half, dip it in my liquid again, and I'm just going to place that in the bottom. So that will form the top when it's turned out. My fruit now just goes in. Lovely, lovely. Get it all in. Spread that around. And now I'm just going to dip my final piece. Put that on top. Neatly push that down. And now I just fold my sides in. Lovely, lovely. Go all the way around and bring it into the middle. Okay, so that's the bowl kind of made up with all the slices of bread. So I'm now just going to put a piece of cling film gently over the top. And then what I normally do is I just help kind of pack it down a bit and use something big, like this big old mug, just to give it a little push around the edge. So what I'm really trying to do is to make sure that the fruit mixture's right into the bread as well. So this will help squeeze it and allow that juice to really penetrate. So it really helps kind of clear the edge. Great, now that's ready for the fridge. And we're going to leave that in for about, good 4 or 5 hours until it's beautifully kind of set off. Right, so here's one I made earlier. Quickly whip the cling film off. As you can see, it's nice and firm. So I now need to get this out of the bowl. So I need a pot of hot water that I'm going to put my glass bowl in. That will soften up the sort of gelatine, the jelly kind of mix, and allow me then to turn this upside down and turn it out. So here goes. So it's going to need about 30 seconds in here. Right, so this is the bit that always makes me a little bit nervous. So we've got our bowl, it's been in there for about sort of 20-30 seconds in some very hot water. Just going to knock off the drips. I'm now going to sort of turn it out onto our plate. Plate goes on top, flip it over, we'll give it a good old shake. Whoa, there she goes. There we are. All right then, so here we have it, our summer pudding. Really simple to make, as you saw, using up an excess ingredient. Again, if ever you've got too much bread left over from the week, have a go at making one of these. So the proof of the pudding is in the tasting, so let's go for it. It's cutting nicely, that's always a good sign. Great, get a spoon in there. Oh, lovely. There we have it. Get some of those strawberries out there. Lovely, lovely. Good, good. And I like to have mine with a good old blob of ice cream. So that goes alongside. Here we go. Absolutely delicious. Lovely and velvety, fruity. So please go and have a go. It's not too difficult. It'll go down a treat after a barbecue. Ingredients really easy to get hold of. Fantastic. Go away and have a go.